Chosen one, stop scrolling. Yes, you. You were not meant to hear this later. Heaven interrupted your scroll on purpose. This moment is not random. This is not coincidence. Out of millions of videos, this is the one your spirit was pulled toward. God timed this exact second because your soul is awake, even if your mind is still trying to understand why. Something inside you knew to pause. Something deeper than logic told you, listen. That wasn't curiosity, that was recognition. There has been a restlessness inside you lately, a quiet pressure that comes and goes. You try to distract yourself, but it always returns. In the silence, you feel it the most. A sense that something is shifting, that life as you knew it cannot continue the same way. You felt unsettled, pulled, alert, for no clear reason. Let me tell you the truth. This is not anxiety. This is not imagination. This is not confusion. This is the Spirit of God knocking on your awareness, stirring you because your season is changing. Heaven is not asking for your attention tomorrow. Not next week, not when things slow down. Right now. Because when destiny calls, delay becomes dangerous. You don't accidentally miss divine moments. You drift past them while waiting for a better time. And God knows that if He didn't stop you now, distractions would swallow this moment whole. You are at a crossroads, whether you realize it or not. One path leads back to comfort, familiarity, and cycles you already know. The other leads forward into obedience, growth, and territory that scares your flesh, but awakens your spirit. And right now, heaven is watching what you choose to do with this interruption. You've been feeling tired in ways sleep doesn't fix, drained, even when you haven't done much. That's because you've been carrying weight that doesn't belong to this next version of you. God has been loosening your grip on old mindsets, old habits, old attachments, and it's uncomfortable. Transformation always is, but discomfort is not a sign you're doing something wrong. Often, it's proof you're finally doing something right. You've questioned yourself lately. Wondered why things don't excite you the way they used to, why conversations feel shallow, why certain environments feel heavy. That's because your spirit is maturing faster than your surroundings. You're outgrowing what once felt normal, and heaven refuses to let you stay small just to stay comfortable. God sees how many times you almost gave up, how many nights you cried quietly, how many prayers you whispered that felt unanswered. You thought heaven was silent, but silence was not absence. God was watching, measuring, preparing. He was building endurance in you, strengthening your discernment, sharpening your ability to hear Him without noise. That's why this message feels personal. Because it is. God does not shout randomly. He speaks precisely, and right now He's reminding you that you are not overlooked, forgotten, or late. You are exactly where you need to be to hear what you're hearing. This is not a motivational message. This is not emotional hype. This is alignment. Something is lining up in the unseen, and your awareness is catching up to what heaven already decided. The pressure you feel is not meant to crush you. It's meant to focus you. Diamonds are formed under pressure, not comfort. Pay attention to what's been leaving your life recently. Pay attention to what no longer fits. God is not punishing you by removing things. He's protecting you from carrying unnecessary weight into your next season. You can't move fast while dragging what's expired. Right now, God is asking you to be still enough to listen, not with your ears, but with your spirit. Because if you rush past this moment, you'll feel the echo of it later. that quiet thought that says, I should have paid attention. Heaven is merciful, but wisdom listens the first time. Your heart beating faster right now is not fear, it's recognition. Something inside you remembers who you are, even if your life doesn't fully reflect it yet. This is a reminder, not a rebuke, a calling, not a condemnation. You are not watching this by accident. You didn't just happen to be here. God stepped into your routine because you're ready to hear him, not perfectly ready, but willing. And willingness is enough for heaven to work with. So don't rush, don't scroll away, don't silence this stirring. Let this moment sit with you. Let it sink past your mind and into your spirit. Because this interruption is not here to entertain you, it's here to awaken you. And if you feel it, if something inside you is saying, this is for me, then know this: God is not finished with you. He is not done speaking. And this moment is only the beginning. Chosen one, God has been watching you quietly. Not from a distance, not with indifference, but with intentional focus. While others misunderstood you, while people misjudged your heart and labeled you wrongly, while they spoke about you without knowing what you carried, while you questioned yourself in silence, God never questioned his decision to choose you. There were moments when you wondered if something was wrong with you, why you couldn't think like everyone else, why you couldn't move the way others moved, why the things that satisfied people around you left you feeling empty. That sense of difference followed you everywhere. In rooms full of people, you still felt alone. In conversations, you often felt out of place. Not because you were broken, but because you were never designed to blend in. You were set apart long before you understood what that meant, before you had language for it, before you had faith strong enough to stand on. Heaven marked you early, and that mark made you incompatible with ordinary paths. That's why fitting in always felt like pretending. That's why compromising your values felt heavy. That's why your spirit resisted things others embraced easily. The battles you faced were not normal. The weight you carried was not common. The emotional pressure, the mental strain, the spiritual resistance, you didn't imagine it. You weren't being dramatic. You weren't weak. You were contending with opposition that was assigned to stop you before you understood who you were. The enemy recognized your calling long before you did. That's why certain attacks came early. That's why confusion tried to settle into your mind. That's why discouragement followed you closely. The enemy doesn't waste energy on empty vessels. Resistance is often proof of value. Pressure is evidence of potential. And yet, you're still here. After everything you survived, after everything that should have broken you, after moments when giving up felt easier than continuing, you're still here. That's not luck. That's not coincidence. That's protection. There were situations that should have destroyed you completely, but somehow they didn't. There were decisions you made that could have cost you everything, yet mercy stepped in. There were dangers you never even saw because God blocked them before they reached you. You thought you escaped by chance, but heaven intervened on purpose. God allowed certain doors to close when you begged for them to open. He allowed certain relationships to break when you prayed they would last. He allowed plans to fall apart when you were sure they were right. And at the time, it felt cruel. It felt confusing. It felt like rejection. But it wasn't punishment. It was redirection. Some doors were too small for who you're becoming. Some people were too limited to walk into your future. Some plans would have capped your calling instead of expanding it. Every delay was developing your patience. Every disappointment was refining your discernment. Every season of isolation was strengthening your spiritual hearing. Isolation wasn't abandonment, it was training. God separated you not to hurt you, but to prepare you. Because what He's entrusting you with requires depth. It requires humility. It requires obedience. Surface-level faith would not survive where you're going. Shallow roots would not hold the weight of what He's about to place on you. That's why your journey has been intense. That's why your lessons have been deep. God was building capacity in you. Capacity to handle influence without pride, authority without ego, and blessing without losing your soul. You are not weak for feeling tired. You are not behind because your path looks different. You are not forgotten because things took longer than you expected. Heaven does not rush what is meant to last. Others may have moved faster, but you are being built stronger. You've been developing discernment while others chased validation. You've been learning obedience while others chased applause. You've been learning how to stand alone so that when the time comes, you won't crumble under pressure or approval. There were seasons when God seemed silent, but silence was not neglect. It was intimacy. He was teaching you to recognize His voice without noise, to trust Him without signs, to walk by faith and not by constant reassurance. That's why you can sense things others miss. That's why you feel shifts before they happen. That's why your spirit reacts before your logic understands. You've been trained quietly, and now the season of confusion is ending. Clarity is coming. Not all at once, not loudly, but steadily. You'll begin to see patterns make sense. Past pain will gain meaning. Rejection will reveal purpose. What once confused you will begin to align. You'll realize that nothing was wasted. Not one tear, not one setback, not one lonely night. God was weaving everything together, your pain, your prayers, your patience, into preparation. Chosen one, you are not waiting on God. God has been waiting on you to recognize who you are. You are being prepared for impact, not applause, for influence, not attention, for assignment, not comfort. And when the moment comes, and it will come, you'll look back and understand why it had to happen this way, why you couldn't skip the process, why you had to walk alone, why you had to be misunderstood, because what's ahead of you requires a foundation that cannot be shaken. And now that your spirit is awake, now that your heart is receptive, now that your discernment is sharp, God is about to move you from preparation into positioning. You were never lost. You were being led. And this recognition, this awakening you feel right now, is proof that the next phase has already begun. Chosen one, this is the moment where you must decide, not emotionally, not impulsively, but spiritually. This is not about how you feel right now. Feelings change. This is about what you choose to align with when the emotions settle and the noise fades. Heaven has brought you to a point of awareness, and awareness always demands a response. God is calling you higher, but elevation always requires surrender. There is no promotion in the spirit without release. You cannot carry old habits into new territory. You cannot hold on to fear and still walk fully into purpose. You cannot cling to what feels familiar and step boldly into what is faithful. Something must be laid down so something greater can be lifted up. This is both a warning and an invitation. A warning not to return to what God has already delivered you from. An invitation to step into what He has been preparing while you are still unsure. God is gentle, but He is also precise. He will not force you forward, but He will clearly show you when it is time to move. Pay attention to what God is removing right now. Not everything leaving your life is an attack. Some things are answers to prayers you prayed in tears. Some people are drifting because they were never meant to walk with you into your next season. Some doors are closing because they no longer match the level of discernment you now carry. Pay attention to what no longer satisfies you. What once distracted you now feels empty. What once excited you now feels draining. That's not boredom, that's maturity. That's your spirit rejecting what cannot nourish it anymore. God is refining your appetite so you stop feeding on what weakens you. He is clearing space. Space in your mind, space in your schedule, space in your heart, because what He's about to release requires room. Do not run back to what God already pulled you out of just because it feels familiar. Familiarity is not safety. Comfort is not calling. The past may feel easier, but it cannot take you where obedience will. Every time you consider returning, remember how hard God worked to free you. Do not silence the conviction you feel right now. Conviction is not condemnation. Condemnation pushes you away from God. Conviction pulls you closer. That inner stirring, that holy discomfort, that gentle but firm nudge, that's not pressure, that's activation. Something is waking up inside you. And when awakening begins, resistance often follows. Your flesh will want ease. Your fear will want certainty. Your past will want permission to stay relevant. But your spirit is asking for trust. Trust that God knows what He's doing, even when you don't see the full picture. Trust that obedience will make sense later, even if it feels costly now. Trust that what you release today will be replaced with something greater tomorrow. This is not the season to rush. It's the season to listen, to pray honestly, to move intentionally, to say no without guilt and yes without delay. God is sharpening your discernment because your decisions now carry weight. You are not choosing between good and bad. You are choosing between good and God. And sometimes the hardest decisions are not about sin, but about surrender. If you feel this message deep in your soul, don't scroll past it. Don't brush it off. Don't promise yourself you'll think about it later. Later is where purpose gets postponed. Right now is where alignment begins. Where you are, physically, emotionally, spiritually, God is present, and He is listening. So take a moment, breathe, and whisper this prayer where you are, not perfectly, not loudly, but sincerely. God, I hear you. I'm listening. Prepare me for what you've prepared for me. Let those words settle. Let them move past your lips and into your life. Because obedience in this season will determine access in the next. What you do with this moment matters. What you choose to release matters. What you choose to pursue matters. Stay alert. Distractions will come louder when alignment begins. Stay humble. Pride blocks what humility attracts. Stay close to God. Proximity produces clarity. There will be moments when the path ahead feels lonely. That doesn't mean you chose wrong. There will be moments when obedience feels heavy. That doesn't mean it isn't holy. Growth always stretches before it strengthens. God is not asking you to be perfect. He is asking you to be available, to be teachable, to be willing. Heaven moves through surrendered hearts, not flawless ones. You have already survived seasons that should have disqualified you. You have already endured trials that should have silenced you. Yet here you are, still standing, still listening, still responding. That is not accidental. Heaven interrupted you because heaven trusts you with what comes next. So walk forward with courage, not because you feel fearless, but because you trust God more than your fear. Walk forward with faith, not because you see everything clearly, but because you know who is leading you. This moment is a threshold, and thresholds are crossed by decision. Heaven did not interrupt you by accident. God did not awaken you without intention, and this call will not repeat forever. Choose alignment. Choose obedience. Choose trust, because the next version of your life is waiting on the decision you make right now.